Hi, it's Ross Jeffries, and welcome to the Beyond Dating Tips Advice for Men Mastery Series. This is video 1 of 10 videos. The topic of this video is, with women, it's the attitude that counts. There are some wrong attitudes for meeting women. So before I tell you what works, let me warn you against what doesn't work. And I should say what doesn't work is actually what's commonly done by men and even taught by society, by movies, by television, by the media that's constantly bombarding us with the wrong messages about what it actually takes to be successful with women. So let's get to the 4 attitudes, the 4 places that really don't work very well when it comes to meeting women. Number 1 is desperation. I've got to make this work. I'm sure you've experienced that. You've seen some beautiful women and you felt very lonely and you thought, I've got to make this work. Second attitude that doesn't work very well is despair. I hope this works. I hope something can work for me. I got to break out of this slump. We've all been in that place. The third one is anger. This had better work. Those bitches had better accept me. We've probably all been in that place or had times in our life where we felt like going to that place. The final one is lust. My God, I can't wait to work this in her. Now, attraction for women is fine, and a little bit of lust is fine. The problem is when you turn up your lust too much, first of all, you're giving off a bad vibe. Second, you can't even hear yourself think straight. Here are the right attitudes to take. First of all, the best attitude is let's go have some fun and find out what she's like. This is what I call a playful orientation and a learning orientation. It says, I really don't know what's going to happen, but let's enjoy this and see. You're not demanding that the woman respond in any particular way. You're not demanding that reality give you a guarantee of certainty before you take a step. And we're going to get into that in some of the later videos in this series. But instead you just say, okay, let's go have some fun and find out what she's like. Now notice this implies something else. It implies a screening orientation. When you take on the attitude of, let's find out what she's like, you're no longer having to perform, you're no longer having to win her over, it's no longer I've got to get this girl or I hope this works. Instead, it's an opportunity for her to demonstrate to you that she's got the qualities that you like. It's bringing in selectivity and screening. And when you start to come from a place of screening women, then the whole dynamic begins to turn in your favor. Even if you don't quite have a lot of social skills or even any social skills yet, when you begin to turn that direction around and really take on the position that you're going to screen women, then everything begins to shift in your favor. Now, this is really important. The meaning you give approaching women will determine how you feel with it, how you feel around it, and how you feel through it. If the meaning you give approaching women is it's a dangerous task, oh my God, I'm really in trouble, I could get really hurt here, or it's proof that you're attractive to all women for all time. So if that one woman accepts you, it means all women everywhere are going to accept you. If she rejects you, suddenly it means all women for all time are going to reject you. What's going to happen is you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You're going to turn on the circuitry for fear, for feeling under pressure, for giving off bad vibes. But take on what I call the PLS mindset. The PLS stands for Playful Learning Screening. If you take on that orientation, then the meaning you're going to give approaching women is it's an opportunity to have fun. It's an opportunity to learn something about them. It's an opportunity to increase your skill set. This is really, really important. Once you stop viewing it as something where you could be hurt or something that you've got to do well at, if you can get rid of those two extremes and instead put yourself solidly in the middle with a playful learning screening orientation, then you're going to start doing really well. Now notice what I'm not saying. I'm not telling you to aim at unbelievable confidence. I'm not telling you to aim at being the most slick guy around, because that's the wrong thing to aim for. I know that's what you think you should aim for, or many of you think you should aim at that. I know it's what a lot of gurus tell you should aim at, but in fact it's a mistake. Remember a few things. These are some attitudes that I have taken on, that I've taught thousands of students, and it's really helped them. Attitude number 1, I never get rejected. I only discover if a woman has good taste. Attitude number 2, 99% of the time, the worst that will happen is nothing will happen. 99% of the time, the worst that will happen is nothing will happen. Now let's slow down and really look at this really carefully. What do I mean by that? First of all, I don't mean that 99% of the time when you approach women, something bad will happen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when something does happen that you don't like, the woman is not going to scream at you. She's not going to point at you and laugh at you. She's not going to call all her friends over to laugh at you. She's not going to call you names. In my experience, I've approached thousands of women, and in the few circumstances where they didn't respond well, 99% of those times, nothing happened. They just didn't respond. They're not going to yell at you. They'll simply look at you or just ignore you or not respond at all, not say anything. Big deal. So the image you may have had in your mind that women are cold or rejecting, they're looking to hurt men, this is a Hollywood stereotype. One of the things I'll encourage you to do is to look to see how the popular media has programmed you with all sorts of ideas that really don't serve you and that are not based on any reality. And the final attitude I'll tell you about, the final idea, is one woman, one vote. A lot of guys think if they're rejected by an attractive woman, that attractive woman has some kind of universal telepathic communication system. And the minute she rejects you, every beautiful woman all over the world instantly gets that message from her, and they're all going to reject you. Remember, on election day, that beautiful girl gets the same number of votes as you do, the same number of votes as the ugly girl, 1. So if you ever start to put too much importance, attach too much meaning to approaching any particular woman, remember, one woman, one vote. Now, I want to encourage you to get your 5-part Speed Seduction Sexual Language course right now. I have online a 5-part video course, over 2 hours of video, that will teach you how to use the Speed Seduction language patterns to get women really hot and bothered. The URL you should go to is www.seductionforfree.com. That's the number 4, seductionforfree.com. That course is waiting for you. It's packed with fantastic information you can use right now, today, to get the women you want and to have incredible satisfaction with the women you want. I hope to see you on that site. Remember, this is video 1 of 10. There are 9 more videos in this series.